Shalom, shalom, everybody. In the name of Yehoshua, the Messiah, all praises go to our Father in heaven. This is Rebuilding the Breach YouTube channel. My name is Kananya, and we have a very important, brief lesson we want to share today. And you can see the title on the screen. It's titled, Study the Word. I'm going to say it again. Study your Word. This is very important for all of the saints of Elohim. Whether you're at elementary baby knowledge of the word, whether you're at the medium stage where you're learning, or even expert level, it doesn't matter where you're at in your understanding. In the Father's eyes, you're still a baby. So you need to understand that. But I'm just talking according to the flesh, your knowledge of the word, because some people have more knowledge than others. One of the reasons why it's so much confusion and it's so much misinformation about the word, because people don't study the word. You just go by what people say. You listen to videos, you watch videos, thousands of them, but you don't go back and verify. Now, some do, praise Yah. So you should never be confused, because you're verifying the Most High is giving you the spirit of truth, and you're able to identify the word. You have to study. Not only do you have to study, we've talked about this before, you have to allow the Father to teach you how to study. You have to allow the Father to guide you to those who share the word, to guide you to his messengers. Yah sends out messengers, teachers, pastors. They share his word, but you won't be able to identify them if you cannot recognize the word. Because what happens sometimes, sons and daughters of Elohim, is Yah will send a messenger, but you won't receive their word because you think it's them talking. You can't recognize that this is the Father. This is Yehoshua really talking. And Yah is using them as a vessel. See, Yah sends out teachers. You see, when the scripture talks about the spirit of truth is coming, it's going to teach you all things. It doesn't nullify, make void teachers, but what it's teaching you is who is going to give you the understanding. It is the spirit. No man can make you see. A man can share the word. The Ruach, the spirit, allows you to understand the truth. That is why when the Messiah died, he said in John 18, between 16 and 18, John 16 and 18, around there, he said, I'm going to send you the spirit of truth. He's going to teach you all things. And then he established the apostles. And then he established the whole New Testament through the mouth of the apostles who went out and built assemblies, the assemblies of Yehoshua, okay, and taught the people and warned them and told them to study your word. All throughout the totality of scripture from the Old Testament to the New Testament, the Father always teaches us, know him. And you won't know him unless you pray and study. See, the benefit of being online by the grace of the Father, Yah has a lot of messengers that share his word online, that's led by the Spirit, that's not confusing people. They're given different measures based on the grace the Father's given them. Then you got a whole another group of tares that's confusing people. I'm not dealing with them today. That's not the focus of this topic. But if you don't study your word, you won't be able to identify them. See, when you study your word, you know your Father. And when you know your Father, you know who he has sent. The book of 1 John talks about this. I'm referencing some scriptures today because I want you to verify these things. The book of 1 John talks about this. He that is of Elohim hears us. That's quoted from the book of 1 John. Please verify that. We're not making no stuff up on this video by the grace of the Father. So the Father inspired me by his grace and his mercy through his Son to share this, okay? To share this with his people. I was working out earlier. It's just dropped in my spirit, so I got to let it out to his people. Study your word. Let me say it again. Study your word. I'm not going to take up all of your time. It's going to be led by his spirit. Got a couple of scriptures to share with you. I referenced a few scriptures. Please look it up. Please verify. I'm going to show you some examples in scripture where no matter who is talking, they verify, okay? Because the spirit will teach you, oh, this is the truth, and you will be led by it. John 4:42. Look at this. Look at the simplicity of scripture. So after the Messiah preached the word to this woman, Samaritan woman, she went back to the community and she told them. But it was only verified when they actually sought after the word. That's what John 4:42 says. And said unto the woman, now we believe. The woman is referring to the Samaritan woman. Okay, I want you to read the story in your own time. I'm not trying to take up all your time today. Just want to share a few words of encouragement, some scriptures that the Spirit gave me. So at verse 42, now they are responding to the Samaritan woman. And they said unto the woman, now we believe, not because of thy saying, for we have heard him ourselves, and know that this is indeed the Messiah, the Savior of the world. Because she told them everything in the beginning of John. He exposed her whole life. He told her about her sin. That's how you get saved. That's why we talked about that. She had to be put to shame in order to be saved. And then she told the group of people, when you read this whole chapter, what he came to do and what he showed her. But they didn't believe until they heard him. You see how that works? So they took her testimony as true, and then they verified. You see the steps? Take the testimony as you hear the word is true. Now go verify. So then you're confident when you are out and when you have to fulfill your ministry and when you have to do the work. That's why Yah sends the messengers. This is why we're doing these messages. This is not for our benefit. This is for you. Okay? All praise go to our Father in heaven. Give him praise, honor, and glory in Yahushua's name. That's what it's all about. It's about giving esteem to the Father. It's not about us. You study your word to grow, to bring esteem to him. It's not about personal knowledge. It's about him. Grasp that and hold tight on that wisdom. Jeremiah talks about that you understand and know me. Okay? Let's learn Jeremiah, I'm mistaken, chapter 4. It could be chapter 9. And chapter 9 talks about that. We'll go to that in a second. We read that passage before. That you understand and know him. Let's get back to it though. So in Acts 17:11, there was another group of people that were listening to the word through the apostles. What happened? How did they understand the word? Look at this. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Hold on. Thessalonica. Might have said that wrong, but it doesn't matter. And that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. You see that? Therefore, many of them believe also, and of the honorable women which were Greeks, and of men, not few. Do you understand? Do you see the simplicity of the word? It said once again, they received the word with all readiness, okay? In Thessalonica, and of mind, and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. Therefore, many believed also, honorable women which were Greeks, and man, not a few. You see, that's what you're supposed to do. When we share the word with you, we're inspired by the Father to share. But what gives us more inspiration by the Father, not only do we share his message, but that you, as listeners, as servants of the Father, growing and learning in the knowledge, you're going back and you're studying, because that means you trust the word that's given. See, what happens is when you eat off like a lot of tables, you treat the word like McDonald's. The word is precious. This past first day of the week, I was talking to my family, and we was talking about how the Father protected his name, his Hebraic name, that's his original name, of course, right? And how in the scriptures you may see like Lord, and the reason why the Father, a lot of times people look at that and they say, oh man, he took his name out, but they don't understand sometimes that was the Father protecting his name. So these people in these movies, and they just want to make his name mean anything. You see on movies, they say the Lord, and they like to use words like Jesus Christ, and they say it so easily. They can't say that with the Father's name easy. They didn't. So what's the point of me bringing that up? Okay. The point of me bringing it up is it was precious. His name is precious, okay? So his name is set apart, and we can call on his name. Of course we can. But I'm comparing that to his word, okay? His word is precious. But if you eat off too many tables, now it's not precious. Now you're just treating it like it's just anything. This is the word of Yah you're dealing with. This is not a microwave religion. This is the living word that saves souls, that changes you. It's a miracle. Understand this. It's precious. So treat it like it's precious, okay? Be passionate, have zeal. Respect the word. Let the Most High grow you. Verify what Scripture says. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in a land of wonders, trying to figure out what's true and what's not true. You have to verify, okay? And you have to allow the Father to teach you how to do it. See, the Father has to teach you how to do everything. Because you just came out of sin. It don't matter if it was 20 years ago, 15, 5, 2, 3 weeks ago. You used to be a sinner, and the Most High called you out of that. So he has to change everything. Your whole body changes, your mind changes. He has to teach you how to do things over now. He teach you how to study the word. He teach you how to pray. He teach you how to verify Scripture. He teaches you how to find teachers and elders and who are instructed messengers of Yah. He teaches you how to find those people. You don't find that on your own. He shows you. So what happens is when you do it on your own, now you try to find what you want. It's the same thing in relationships. A man is looking for a righteous woman. A woman is looking for a righteous man. They get tired of waiting, so they rush. Then they find somebody and try to force that to be something righteous, and it's not. And it doesn't work out, and then they want to come crying on the Most High. No. Finding a spouse is precious. The Most High has to teach you how to do it. It's that simple. You got to be taught everything, people. The Most High is reteaching us a lot of different things. This is a new creation. You understand what that means? So you got the first creation. That's physical. Now you got the spiritual creation. We're in the spirit now. He has to teach you things over in the spirit. You're not flesh no more, even though you are flesh. You're walking in the spirit. So 2 Timothy 2:15 says, study to show thyself approved unto Yah, a workman that needs not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Okay? You rightly dividing it because you're studying. Okay? You study confident. It builds up your confidence. Got one last chapter. I told you I'm not taking up all your time today. This is a short and sweet lesson by the grace of the Father through his Son. Okay? So Isaiah 28:10 gives you also a little clue about how the word is given. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. You see, you're studying. It's a precept there, it's a precept here, line upon line. It's going to be a little bit of spots here. It's going to be some spots here. You're learning. You're studying. That's how y'all brought doctrine to his people. Okay? Understand that. And that's how he provides you with a sufficient meal. Remember, when the children of Israel came out of Egypt, I don't want to get too deep here, but I want to explain this by the grace of the Father so you can understand. He told them when they ate manna, okay? You only can get a certain amount of manna. If you got too greedy, if you ate too much manna, you got too greedy and you collected too much manna, and then also the quails he blessed them with, it wouldn't work out. You had to get a certain amount of portions that was sufficient. And that bread, of course, as the Messiah taught us, it was a representation of him. He is the bread of life. Man should live by bread alone, but every word that comes out of the mouth of Yah. That bread came from heaven. And there's so many symbolisms and shadows that point us to the Messiah and a lot of other things. And that's a different subject. But the point is, he gave a measure of food that was needed to keep him alive and healthy. It wasn't all you can eat. It was enough. Okay? So what's the point I'm trying to make with you? Don't overload because you can't digest everything. And then now you're going to have a stomach ache because you can't process everything. If I eat 10 slices of cake, my stomach can't process everything. If I watch 20 videos in 24 hours, I can't process everything. Especially if the person's not of Elohim. You see, sometimes people watch videos of messengers that are of Elohim, and then they watch messengers that's of Elohim and not of Elohim. They mix them together in one big bowl, and that's why so much confusion today. And you can say confusion, misinformation, whatever word you can use, okay? Either way, people are confused a little bit. And that comes because of eating off so many tables. But that's not the point of the lesson. I'm just sharing that, a part of the lesson. The point of the lesson is study. Even when I'm talking about, please study. Look some of these scriptures up by reference. Look at the word. Sometimes people ask me, how do you connect scriptures? I don't know how I connect scriptures. I study his word by his grace and mercy. He teaches me how to connect certain parts of scripture. That's the spirit. We're not doing this on our own. Understand, I'm nothing but dust. The Father does the same thing for you. He allows you not only to know the word, but now you can connect the word with other scriptures and put things together. That's his spirit that does it. And it's unstoppable. It never stops. It's a continuing well that continues. Yahushua talked about that. Everything starts by studying. Verify. Take your personal opinion out. Take your emotions and feelings out. As the scripture says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of which the issues of life, Proverbs 4 and 23. Take that, or around there. It's not about you. It's about him, okay? And so take your personal feelings aside and study your word. You do that, you're in good shape. May the Most High Spirit continue to be with you all in Yahushua's name. Like I told you before, nothing too long-winded, but I want to emphasize one more time. Study your word. Study your word. Let the Most High shine his light in your heart. He is doing a work in every single one of you. Do your part. Let him do his work. Study so he can do his work. It's that simple. When I study by the grace of the Father, I can share this. So I give him esteem. I'm amazed. Because when I study, I'm like, Father, how did you allow me to see this? What am I? And sometimes I cry, my spirit's like, how am I able to see this? It's because you study and he teaches. Then he sends messengers. You can verify him. He does other things too. I'm just focusing on studying right now. Try it, people. Study your word. Have fun doing it too. It's a fun thing to do. It's fun to study. You have to have fun doing this. If you look at studying the word and you say it's boring or studying the word is the funnest thing you can do in this life. Study. Now, of course, you're not going to study all day because you have life and y'all knows you have life. That's why when you study, now the word is living inside of you, and now you become a Bible yourself walking down the street. You become a walking Bible. You just studied your word. Now you become scripture to people. Like, who is this person? Who's this man? Why do they act like that? You become what the word makes you. You're being conformed to the image of Mashiach when you study, when you pray. You walk down the street, you're a living Bible now. Not only are you reading the Bible, but now you look like a Bible. I'm just being funny, but you get what I'm saying. You live it out. So anyway, I'll be done with this lesson because I can go another 4 hours by the grace of Yah. But I got to get some sleep tonight. So all praise go to our Father in heaven, in Yahushua's name. Study your word. Until next time, shalom.